This last week, I had a case that was surprising. I had a young man come in and he told me his doggy had collapsed going up the apartment stairs. He lives on the third floor, and the doggy collapsed multiple times in one day. Just an older dog, a pity mix, but just it collapsed. He was really nervous, and he told me, he's like, Dr. Dan, do everything possible. Do everything possible. This is my best friend. And a lot of times I go over numbers with people, finances, making sure there's no surprises. However, when someone tells me that it's their best friend, do everything possible, in my head I'm thinking a friend would pay like $500, $600 and just expect that. Like, we're going to do everything possible for this best friend and we're going to spend $500-$600 and figure this out. I was wrong. I was totally wrong. So this young man, after we worked up the entire case and found out that his dog had a dilated cardiomyopathy, meaning the heart was too big and it wasn't functioning right, and this is really, really bad. And we had a cardiologist review my case, and this cardiologist agreed. And we did all this for under $600, around $600. And it turned out that do everything for my friend, my best friend, in his subjective mind, was $100 or less. And he couldn't pay for much of anything. So basically we sent him on his way and said, do your best to pay us back. That is where I think a lot of times as a veterinarian, I make a mistake. And as pet parents make mistakes, is we are so not aligned with what the my best friend, I'll do everything for really means. Because some people will say, oh yeah, let's do a handful of things and, let's not overdo it. And for them, they're thinking, we'll spend $1,000 or $2,000. And then you have this young gentleman that says, do everything possible for my best friend. I will pay anything. And me being a responsible veterinarian trying to tailor this plan to not be too expensive, but also figure the problem out. And then, boom, we pay too much. And we don't pay anything. We just are billed too much. That's where it comes down to spectrum of care. Spectrum of care, guys, is something that every veterinarian is taught in veterinary school, and it's becoming really, really trendy. If you go to any veterinary conference, you will hear some really trendy person talking of spectrum of care. And all that means is everybody has different expectations for what financially and medically that we can do for your pet. So someone walks in and says, do everything possible. That may mean $20,000 of work. Another person, that might mean $100 of work. And that's where it comes down to, we need to be as transparent as possible. And usually, ladies and gentlemen, I do a better job of being transparent. I'll give options, I'll tell them what I'm thinking, and we'll go from there. Now, I'm going to be more upfront and more direct with the cases where I feel like need certain things, and I feel like we are not going to survive if we don't get those things. And I will be less pushy with the cases I think I may have more time, or my medical management may be enough without diagnostics. It all depends on it. So what a veterinarian will do is when they walk into the exam room to see you, they will do a spectrum of care approach. And what they're going to do is they're going to say, best options up here, second best, third best, blah, 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 all the way down to all the different options. I try to keep it simple. I'll give two options. If someone comes back to me and it's just too expensive, I will pivot. I had another one recently where my game plan was way too much, and I went back in the room and I eliminated all the preventive care things and said, you know what? First step is let's get your doggy feeling better, and then we can come back and do preventive care. It's all about working with your veterinarian and going over options that best fit you financially and then medically. Now, sometimes when you go to the veterinarian, it will be just you have to do certain things. And your veterinarian should do a good job of telling you, we have to do this because your dog's life depends on it, or the quality of dog life depends on this, or what medicine I give depends on this. So sometimes your spectrum of care is pretty narrow with what we need to do. But other times, like if you have a limping dog, you may be able to give an anti-inflammatory, monitor, sit on it, and if it's not getting better, then do your x-rays or do your x-rays with sedation. It just kind of depends on where you are with your veterinarian and how you're going to monitor the case and how you're going to treat the doggy or the kitty in the future. This can be challenging and frustrating sometimes because sometimes with spectrum of care, if you do everything, You find out maybe it was a small problem and you overpaid for things you may not have needed because it's healthy, but it's good to do those things. Or you may not do enough, and then you end up at the veterinary hospital again the next day or in 2 weeks, and it's not better, and you're doing more tests. It's one of those things, guys, where you need to talk to your veterinarian. You need to have a transparent approach with them, and everybody needs to be talking and saying what we're going to do, how much it's going to cost, and expectations. If we do all this, we probably won't have to come back because we're probably going to figure it out. If we only do a couple things, we might not get better. So you may be coming back for additional care. All right, guys, that's spectrum of care right there. And you're going to hear a lot about it. Your veterinarian will definitely give you options on options of treatment plans, diagnostics, and medicines that will definitely be a whole spectrum of options out there for your doggy or your kitty. You can always say no to your veterinarian if you feel like the treatment plan does not fit you and your doggy or kitty the best way possible. If it does not fit you financially, that's okay. Say no, pause, and restart. If you feel like the test the veterinarian is doing is excessive or not enough, or the treatment plan is excessive or not enough, you should pause. And everybody should be willing to explain why we're going to hospitalize a pancreatitis dog. Because, hey, it's been sick for 3 days, it's lethargic, its numbers are high, safety first. Let's do this, make sure we recover. Or do we have a gastritis dog with reflux and it's been vomiting for 6 to 8 hours, and maybe we just need some nausea medicine and some gastroprotectants. And we don't have to be hospitalized. But we just need to go forward with expectations of doing what is the next step if we don't get better, and what will we be doing at the hospital or at home to make sure our doggy or our kitty is as healthy as possible. As always, guys, my name is Dan. I'm a veterinarian. Thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate it. You guys have a great day. Take care. Bye.